Hello students, I have another video for you. This one is also an idiom, a conversational phrase you can use and hopefully it's useful for you. Let's go straight into sharing and I would like to show you what I have made for you. This is my presentation. So the phrase is back on one's feet. It sounds a little interesting. On one's feet, is it 1 foot? What is that? Kind of confusing. So what does it mean? Once means that you don't want to be specific and say, I am back on my feet, you are back on your feet, he is back on his feet, and all that. This is more, when you say my, your, his, you're very specific whose feet you're back, someone is back on. And using one's is like using someone. Someone can be a woman or a man. We are not very specific about it. So sometimes it's nice to be more general. So you can say, I am back on my feet. I will tell you the meaning of being back on your feet in just a little bit once we finish the form. And this is how you use it. This is the form. You are back on your feet. She is back on her feet. He is back on his feet. And for example, the dog is back on its feet. We are back on our feet. We. You all are back on your feet. And they are back on their feet. So these are possessive adjectives. So depending if the person is I, then you will say my feet. If it's you, your feet, and so on and so on. So you change the phrase a little bit depending on who you're talking about. So what does it mean to be on your back on your feet? The literal means the direct meaning is, I imagine that somebody falls and then they're back on their feet, right? So I fell down, but I got back on my feet. Be back on your feet. Not this kind of back, but be back on your feet, like I'll be back. So be back, to get back on your feet. Usually you say, I am back on my feet, or I got or get back on the be verb or get verb. The next meaning is the figurative meaning, and it's about health. So you say that you are back on your feet when you're healthy again. So if you were sick or you recover from your illness, you can say, I am back on my feet, or I got back on my feet. So it means to be healthy again after a period of illness. So this is very commonly used phrase specifically about health. So this actually little turtle is usually put on if you go to the hospital or somewhere, and you can send or you can give a card to a friend and say, get back on your feet soon. Means be healthy again soon. Here are a few examples. I couldn't do anything for 2 weeks while I had the flu, but now I'm back on my feet. Jill is happy to be back on her feet again after her hospital stay. So be healthy again. The other meaning of to be back on your health, to be back on your feet, is when it is about money. So nowadays, a lot of people struggle because of the pandemic. People have lost their jobs. So they struggle. They have a difficult time financially. And here in this picture, you see how to survive unemployment and get back on your feet financially, means related to money. So you can say, I'm back on my feet when you mean that you have recovered from financial problems. You have enough money now and you're successful after having problems. Yes, so after the pandemic is over, many people will get back on their feet financially. and many people will get back on their feet health-wise. So we're waiting for this time. I can't afford to buy a car until I get a job and get back on my feet. He will get back on his feet as soon as he starts working again. So you need to have money, and then once you have money, you're back on your feet. So this is a little practice for you. You will have to use my, your, his, her, its, our, or their in the sentences. So here's your first sentence. Stella, me, was sick, but now she's back on. What are you going to use? Stella is she. So we're talking about a woman. We will use her feet. I lost my job and all my savings. I need to get back on so you say my feet. My parents got sick while traveling. They are back on, I was too fast, their feet. Needed to give you time to think. You fell down in the snow, but you got back on you. So your feet. The company is back on, the company is its feet after the crisis. You should get back on, no, we, our feet after the pandemic. So you look at the subject and then you decide what the adjective will be. Now you look at the same sentences, but you want to tell me if it is the literal meaning about a fall, if it is about health, or if it is about money. So let's look at the first one. Stella was sick, but now she's back on her feet. Is it about fall, health, or money? Health. I lost my job and all my savings. It's about money. My parents got sick. So it's about health, to be back on your feet. This phrase in this case is about health. I fell down in the snow, but you got back on your feet is about just fall, the literal meaning. The company is back on its feet after the crisis. It's about money. And he will get back on his feet after his cold is gone. Is about health, because we're talking about cold. I have a quote for you. If I fall down, I get back on my feet and I try again and again until I make it. I hope that whatever happens to you, if it is financial problem or if it is a health problem, that you always find a way to get back on your feet, and you always find a way to be again successful. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and watch the other videos, rewatch them, and try to use those phrases so you don't forget them.